Hi, this is Alaric again. Welcome to Spirit Life Lessons, take 2. We did go live at 6 o'clock and did a little session, but the internet was so bad that it wasn't good enough. So we're doing another one on the same subject. So yeah, big welcome. We're going to be doing for the next few weeks, God willing, internet permitting, 6 o'clock every Saturday UK time. So we're going to be doing a story, a scripture, and just a short lesson to fit the story and the scripture. So, hi Simon, good to see you. Yeah, hi, hello. Yeah, good to see you. So the story is one of the more remarkable days in my life. It was about something like 22, 23 years ago in the 90s. And it's a story about a day in a prison in the UK. For some of you who know me, I used to do a lot of prison work, a lot of ministry in prison, and we used to go into the jails with a band called Visions and Dreams. They were a great band, really amazing, really great band, and we used to just go in there and play music for a couple of hours, preach the gospel and heal the sick and minister to people, and we had some great times. Many people, hundreds of people were saved in those times, and we used to go regularly. But the main prisons we used to go into were like Category C and Category D, which are quite low grade prisons. Towards the prisoners are getting towards the end of their sentences, and so the security in those jails is not high. It's a bit higher now, but it wasn't high then, and in some of them you didn't even need ID to get in, and so we weren't really used to taking ID. Anyway, this particular jail was the opposite end of the scale. It was a Category A, one of the most notorious prisons in England, called Whitemoor. It's in the Midlands, and we got within about a couple of miles in the car, and suddenly the leader of the band said, "You've all got your ID, haven't you? You can't get in without ID." And me and the bassist looked at each other and we thought, "Oh my life, we haven't got any ID. And there's nowhere near enough time to go home and get any." So we began to pray, and we just began to really call on God and start to pray in the Spirit, and the Lord spoke to us really clearly and said, "I'm going to get you in." Just really impacted my spirit. And Mark, I looked at him, he looked at me, we both knew that this was God. So we arrived at the jail, went to the reception, and the lady there, we said what had happened. The lady there said, "Well, I'm really sorry, there's absolutely no way you're getting into the jail." And she said, "Nobody has ever got into this prison without any ID, and we're not going to start tonight." So that kind of knocked us a little bit, but we went back. We just kind of went away from the reception for about a minute and just began to pray in tongues again, and we both were just confident that God had said this. So we went back to reception, and I just said, "Could I speak to your manager, please?" And so she went and got the manager. The manager just reaffirmed what she had said, "Look, there's absolutely no way that you're getting into the jail tonight." And so this kind of boldness really came on me, and I said to him, "I want to speak to your governor, the governor of the prison." So it was actually the lady who went and gave the governor a phone call, and she came back and she was white as a sheet, and she said, "The governor says you can go in." Just like that. And there was no kind of argument, and so we went into this jail. We were the only two people that had ever been into the jail up till then. I don't know whether anyone's got in since then, but we got in, and I used to have to go in to the maximum security jails as a part of the band, as a bongo player, and even though I was actually the preacher. And it's because preaching was not really allowed in that kind of environment. They were bringing out laws against the open evangelization of people in public. And so I went in as like the bongo player, undercover, and I'm literally one of the worst bongo players that ever lived. I mean, I've got no sense of rhythm or whatever, and we playing the first song, and I was just hitting all the wrong. I was just terrible. Anyway, after the first song, this big old black prisoner came up to me and said, "You're rubbish at that. Can I have a go?" I said, "I know I'm rubbish, and you're absolutely welcome to have a go." And this guy was brilliant. He was just awesome, and so he was the bongo player for the rest of the set, and I preached, you see, and a lot of people were really touched by God. And actually, it was one of those jails where half the IRA were in there, so there was a lot of kind of really dangerous people, and some of the people had to be there. The prison handcuffed to the prison officers, so that, you know, they were handcuffed, so they got the gospel, they got touched by the Lord as well, and so we had an amazing time. So the scripture that I have today is, you'll find it in John 16 verse 23 and 24. It says this: "In that day you'll no longer ask me anything. I tell you the truth, my Father will give you whatever you ask in my name. Until now you've not asked for anything in my name. Ask and you will receive, and your joy will be complete." So the scripture is saying, when God says something, when you ask in my name, it's like you are literally asking the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And hi, Renju. Hi, good to see you, Renju. Yeah, good to have you. So when we ask in his name, we can be absolutely assured. If he says, "Yes, I will do this," if there's confirmation in your faith, then he will come up no matter what the circumstances, no matter whether the circumstances are telling you the opposite, whether there's opposition to what you're doing, whether things just seem impossible. God is the God of the impossible, and he will come through. So I want to encourage you guys, you know, to, when you get those hunches inside, to really step out on something. And you know that God has said something, step out. And you'll find that the miracle power of God is connected to your faith. We have to activate it. We have to, because God always keeps his promises. And we have to activate the Spirit and the Word. It's the Spirit that brings faith in our hearts. And faith connects the Spirit with the Word. And the Word comes to life. The Spirit is the Spirit of life. And the Spirit of life comes upon the promise and brings the resource of God, whether it's wisdom, whether it's healing, whether it's deliverance, whether it's, in this case, making a way where there is no way. God will come up. And so just want to really encourage you with that, and to step out on those little hunches. Okay, so we're going to be doing these little podcasts every Saturday night. We're going to try at 6 o'clock UK time. If the internet isn't good, then we'll do another tape. So also on a Wednesday night, we're actually doing a similar thing. 6 o'clock UK time. We're actually answering questions. So we'll answer at least one question, and just discuss people's questions that they have. So if you've got a question that you want to ask, just put it in the comments, and we'll try to get around to that question and go live with it. So I hope that's been an encouragement to you. Wherever you are in the world, I think we have somebody from India, we have one or two people from the UK. So wherever you are in the world, love you guys. Great to see you, and we'll see you again very soon, maybe next week. Okay.